Hey everyone, it's John here from RPO Bay Hockey, back with another video. And today's video is going to be about the 2022 Winter Olympics and my roster predictions for Team Sweden. So let me know what you think on my roster predictions, your roster predictions, and maybe a couple snubs that I had for this video. I think overall, if you're looking at 2022, some of the stars or some of the better players for Sweden, they're going to be getting older. I mean, there's going to be a couple that will retire, and it'll be more of the younger stars or the underrated stars that will be coming up and having to lead that team. And it'll be interesting on that back end because I think you're still going to see a top four of experienced guys, but there are some question marks in terms of the depth as well, and the bottom half of that forward group and maybe that third pairing on that defense group. Obviously, I'm going to go through it here, but definitely let me know. And of course, if you are new, welcome to the channel. So let's get right into the roster. So the forward group, I have a top line of Filip Forsberg, Mika Zibanejad, and William Nylander. I think that could be a very solid top line. A second line of Elias Pettersson, Landeskog, and Rickard Rakell. I could see Pettersson playing on the wing because of the depth they have up the middle. I mean, if Backlund makes the team and Backstrom makes the team, you could have a guy like William Karlsson playing up the middle. Obviously, Elias Lindholm has experience playing up the middle. But I could see Pettersson having that experience by 2022 to play that center spot on that second line in between Landeskog and Rakell. You got that third line of Olofsson, who's been playing great for the Buffalo Sabres with some experience in Backstrom and William Karlsson. And Arvidsson, Backlund, and Lindholm as that fourth line. So all three guys who are, they can all play a two-way role. I think Arvidsson has had a little bit of a down year with the Preds, but I do think he'll bounce back and he'll be good. And Backlund, he'll be, 33 by the point of this tournament, so it'll be a question mark in terms of Backlund. I think other guys can make it. I think the extra forward would be Gustav Nyquist. He's going to be older as well. There's a few guys that are going to be 32, 33 in around there. Backlund, Nyquist, Silverberg. So it is a question mark. I think Silverberg's obviously super underrated. Burakovsky has really stepped on the scene, especially the last couple of years. And I don't know. So I think the question mark would really be management, coaching. What do they value more, that experience, or do they want the younger guys to come in? And that could be a big question mark in terms of a guy like Lucas Raymond, who's eligible for this 2020 draft, and he's expected to go in the top 5. And, a brother like Alex Nylander, William Nylander, that would be a lot of fun, but I don't think he is going to pan out the way. He still could be an NHL player, but if you're looking at these players here, is Alex Nylander going to be better than any of these players or as good? There's a possibility there, but we would still have to see, and I just really can't predict at this time for Alex Nylander to make this roster, but I think it would be a lot of fun to see the Nylander brothers together. In other scenarios, we are going to see brothers together, like the Tkachuk brothers, for example. But it'll be interesting, and I do think for a guy like William Nylander, I'm going to talk about it after, he's going to be one of the better players on this roster. Nylander and Zibanejad and Forsberg, that's the top line, and those are probably the three best players on this team. Elias Pettersson, probably another one right there. So those four guys, best four on this team, I'd say for sure. Backstrom's going to be older, but I still think he'll hold his own. Rising guys like Olofsson, I wonder if Burakovsky can make this team. Right now, I would predict, though, Nyquist would be the extra forward, and he actually could be in that top 9. It just really depends on where his development, or where Olofsson's development is, sorry. Nyquist is already quite experienced, but Olofsson, we'll see where his development takes him, and Nyquist could be in that spot maybe, and Olofsson maybe as the extra forward, or maybe down into the fourth line, who knows. But let's move on to the defense. So, Hedman Karlsson, I wanted to see that pairing potentially in Tampa. I don't know if that would work out in the Atlantic Division. That would be tough. But, Karlsson struggled in San Jose, and I do think having a legit partner in Hedman could be great. Maybe he needs more of a defensive, responsible guy, so maybe with Ekholm. I think there's maybe a lot of tinkering here on this defense, because I could see it maybe being Hedman and Klingberg, and then Oliver Ekman-Larsson with maybe Dahlin. It really depends, and then maybe Karlsson with Ekholm, because Ekholm could play both sides. I think that's really key in this defense group, and that's why I think Ekholm will be the guy that makes it between other guys like Klefbom and Hampus Lindholm. I think Hampus Lindholm would be the snub here, or Klefbom. I think the extra defense would be Klefbom or Hampus Lindholm, and whoever doesn't make it is a snub. Dahlin is definitely going to make it. It just comes down to how many minutes, and I think at the end of the day, for a guy like Dahlin, we'll have to see how he develops as an all-around defenseman. If he's just purely offensive, you might get less minutes and more maybe a power play specialist. But then you've got Karlsson, Hedman, Klingberg on that power play potentially, so will Dahlin even get that time? But I do think Dahlin's offensive instincts and offensive potential, we've always known it's there. It's a matter of, can he be that all-around defenseman? But I do think these are great pairings. Hedman, Carlson, they've got some, I think, chemistry there. Oliver Ekman, Larson, Klingberg, that's a very solid second pairing. And Dahlin, Ekholm. Again, if Dahlin doesn't really develop as that all-around guy quite by, 2022, then Ekholm can really complement him. And then goaltending. Leonard, Markstrom, Allmark. There's other options there, but I do think Allmark has really proven himself to be a guy that can, I wouldn't say be a starter, but be a decent enough goalie. And I'm going to talk about King Henrik in a second, but you're moving on from a guy like King Henrik, and you just don't really have the huge studs anymore. But Robin Lehner, in World Juniors and over the time, he has been a goalie that has shown big sparks and big bright lights for him. Lehner, again, was a huge goalie for World Juniors, and I think international, he could step up and be that starter for Sweden. Markstrom is going to be decently over 30. I think he'll be 32, 33 by the time that tournament comes around. So it could be Lehner's net to lose, and Markstrom right there with him. I think Allmark could be that third goalie where he's not going to get any playing time, but just there. So Leonard, Markstrom, I think that's going to be your tandem for the 2022 Olympics for Sweden. So let me know what you think. I think there's a lot of debate to go around here for this Swedish roster. So we'll see. I just wanted to bring up these 2 points here because I think it's really fun to kind of have predictions for what could happen. And I just want to give recognition. I have my jerseys here. To King Henrik. So I think with Lundqvist, it's a matter of he's going to be probably retired by the 2022 Olympics, 99%. So I think maybe hot take, he gets on that coaching staff maybe. I don't know. It really depends. Obviously, he has his brother, and his brother is not a goalie. But who knows? Maybe King Henrik heads over to Sweden and spends a lot of time with his brother, spends a lot of time with his family there, and maybe he takes part in the Olympics in some way. And, of course, my other jersey here, which would be William Nylander. I think there's real potential for Nylander to be the top point producer for Sweden in that tournament. Obviously, I think it would come down to maybe Forsberg, who's scoring a lot of goals maybe in that tournament, and Zibanejad, who would put up serious numbers, Pettersson as well. But I do think there's real potential for Nylander to actually be the highest point producer. We saw what he did in the World Championships, I believe. When they won, I think, with Lundqvist. And it was the iconic picture of Nylander jumping into Lundqvist. So Nylander has proven that he can really put on that extra gear in the internationals for Sweden. So I do think he could be that number one point producer for that team in 2022. So, of course, let me know what you think. Please do subscribe if you are new. Smash that like button. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope to see you on more videos and in the comments. I do really appreciate that support. Definitely go follow on TikTok. No cringe content, but you know what? I'm taking advantage of that platform and reaching out to new viewers and new people that can join this community. So in any way where I can interact with you guys on social media or Discord or just on YouTube, I obviously love doing that. So I hope to see you more. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.